Hey there, tourists. I am broadcasting from a super secret bunker location. They actually pulled me out of where I normally broadcast from because this topic is so hot that they were afraid there'd be a riot and that people would actually come after me. So on that note, I don't think it's a credible threat at all, but on that note, if you do, I might have to leave in the middle of this, and if you do see that, just understand why. It's pretty hot stuff. I'm going to be talking about how to barter properly in Morocco, and I know that does not sound like a big hot topic, but honestly, if you no, okay. Sorry, where was I? It's a hot topic because if you do not take this advice, honestly, you will walk out of that place, that country, feeling you got robbed. There's a huge discrepancy between people that know what they're doing and don't know what they're doing when it comes to bartering. The people in Morocco that sell stuff know this, and they highly take advantage of anybody. Jesus Christ, sorry, I'm just a little jumpy. Where was I? Oh yeah, so there's a huge discrepancy between people that know what they're doing and don't know what they're doing. People that don't know what they're doing get taken advantage of and walk out of that place feeling they got robbed, because they almost literally did, because it can be so overwhelming. And people that know what they're doing always end up getting a good deal. So join me in this video, watch it, and you will definitely thank me for it later. So let's roll that title card and get the show started, because today's show is brought to you in part by Dyslexic Dan's Garage, cat inspections only $9.99, and GI Tract, now with Ilium. That big bearded American tourist is also brought to you by the letter D and the number 9. Please consider liking and subscribing. Thanks. Enjoy the show. All right, we're back. They got the door resecured, so we're fine now. Sorry, I know I don't know, it's never happened to me before, but I mean, this is important stuff, so I can understand why people would freak out over it. It's kind of like Black Friday. I get it. So yeah. Sorry, I just gotta calm down a little bit. Okay, yeah, so let's go over some stuff regarding Morocco and how to barter properly, because let's face it, unless you've done it before, you're gonna be overwhelmed. And it's easy to happen. Even though I went into that place thinking, I got it. It's in my blood, man. I know how to barter, but fuck, it did not. It took me quite a while to get into the groove of it. And when it was all said and done, I definitely went back home and I thought, oh, I spent too much money. So let's make sure that doesn't happen to you. So here we go. All right, first off, a quick don't. When it comes to bartering, you are not bartering for things like grilled items on the streets, pita pockets that are stuffed with meat and things like that. You're not bartering for sodas, bottled water prices, and things like that. And you're not going into restaurants and bartering. All that stuff is fixed price. So you go up to the street and there's a guy with a pita pocket stuffed full of meat that he just made there. It's $1 or $2. That's not a barterable thing. But that being said, there are food items you can barter for, and you should. Bulk items and things you're going to be buying, like fruit and vegetables and candy, that have a set price, you will be able to barter for that. But you're going to be paying attention to what I'm going to be telling you later on. Don't buy at the first place you go to. You're going to find the same things over and over and over again. Find the place with the best starting off price and barter from there. So yeah, don't barter for street food that is grilled fresh there, water, sodas, and things in restaurants. So just an interesting side note here. There are two different groups of vendors there. There are the Arab vendors and the Berber vendors. Now, Berber supposedly is not the preferred term anymore. It's supposed to be like Amazigh or something along those lines. However, the Berbers I met there did not seem to give a shit. They proudly call themselves Berbers, so I don't know how legitimate that is. But anyway, you have the Arabs and the Berbers. They do not like each other at all. And they fight and argue and bicker. It's a whole thing there. So if for whatever reason you have a side in that battle, You can find out very quickly whether they're Berber or not, or Arab or not, and just choose those vendors. Obviously, that may or may not be of interest to you, but I found it very interesting because I had no idea before I went there. Right now you're saying, Drake, that's all great information, but how do you barter? And well, you've stuck through it, so you deserve it. Here's the information. The first thing you need to know is that Moroccan dirham is about 1/10 of a US dollar. So in other words, 200 dirham are worth $20. Makes the conversion easy. That does change on a regular basis as things go up and down. So get yourself an app on your phone that is going to have the direct translation updated on a regular basis. It's so easy to use. I got one in every country I am. So anytime you deal with any number, it will give you the actual US dollar version of it. So I highly suggest that, because it's not always 200 dirham or 2000 dirham, and it's not always by 10, or there's other numbers involved. Then you got to do more math in your head, and on the spot you might not get the right number. So that's the first suggestion I have. Now, when it comes to bartering, right off the bat, you got to know there's a bottom limit of what they're going to be willing to do, and then there's the top limit of what you're willing to do. So the bottom limit of what they're willing to do, you can figure that out pretty fast usually. The top limit of what you're willing to do should be the absolute most you're willing to pay for the item, and that's easy to go past that in the bartering system because you get kind of excited, it's kind of fun and stuff like that. So basically it goes something like this. In a general situation, you're going to find an item for 200 dirham. You're going to meet in the middle somewhere at like 150 dirham, and he's going to act all like, oh, I barely made any money out of this. I'm going to have to sell one of my children. You're such a shrewd buyer, and you really took advantage of the situation, but you won, sir, you won. Good job. And you'll feel amazing because, oh wow, I just made this awesome deal. And then you're gonna leave, and this guy's just gonna laugh at you because you stupid American tourist, you have no idea. The bottom line is this: that item that he just put up for sale for 200 dirham and sold for 150 dirham, which is $15 US, he maybe bought it for $6. Seriously. So his bottom line number is going to be like 10 or 8 even. He still makes a profit at that. Now obviously mileage will vary on this, but I'm just giving you a general overview. Again, you're going to walk out feeling like you've made all this good deal, great money, but the bottom line is you didn't. There was a lot more wiggle room there. And the way your bartering should go is like this. I would like to buy this item. How much is it? It is 200 dirham. Okay. I'm going to give you 100 dirham. What? No. This is made by virgins in the mountain of Shefswan. They don't have sex until their 30s, and they delay having sex just so they can be pure when they make this item. You'll never find a sweater like this anywhere. 100 dirham. I thumb my nose at you. No. And you're gonna be like, all right, I guess, thanks anyway. And you just leave. Just fuck him. You're gonna walk out the door, and all of a sudden, he's gonna walk after you and go, no, wait. Don't joke around with me. Tell me what your best offer is. And you'd be like, yeah, oh, my best offer is 100 dirham, $10 US. No, can't do that. 160. I'll give you $160. It's a good deal for this. Virgins made this. No, I'm okay. 100 dirham, $10 US. I can't do that. Tell me, don't joke. What's your best offer? All right, the absolute best I can do is 11 dirham, $11 US. That's 110 dirham. Okay, just for you this one time, just because I will give it to you for 150 dirham. Nope. All right. What's your absolute best? Absolute best. What is your best? 11. I'll give you 111 dirham. Fine. He'll get really angry. You act like you just took money out of his kids' pockets, but he'll sell it to you for 111 DRAM or $11 US. And he's going to go back, act all upset, wrap it up, and you're going to walk out of there with buying this item, this sweater made by virgins in the mountains of Szechuan for $11 US. And he's going to act like he just got robbed. It's the fucking funniest thing in the world. But he's going to sell it because you know why? He still made $3 off that item, and it's still a lot of money for them. Not as much as they would have made, but you just got yourself a pretty good deal, and he still made some money. That's the way it's going to work. You can do this every single time, and you'll save yourself so much money. Don't be worried about how they act to you. Don't be worried about how upset they get, and don't be worried if for some reason they say no, which they never do. If for some reason they say no, just go somewhere else. They have the exact same items everywhere. That's how you barter in Morocco. Don't fuck around with them. They are only after your money. They don't give a shit about you. They're not your friends. You are a big dollar sign walking around, and if you treat it like anything else, you're gonna get robbed. You're gonna walk out of there with like feeling like you got robbed when you realize I just spent all that money on junk. It's super important. Like I said, go up to Amazon. You'll find very similar items. I did the exact same thing when I got home with some of my items, and I was shocked to find, oh, I really didn't get that much of a deal on this. So just pay attention, and only buy what you want to buy. They will pressure you to buy multiple items and give you bigger discounts on multiple purchases, which is fine if you want to buy a bunch of stuff. And that's another thing. If you've bartered down to 100 DRAM on something or whatever, and you go back in and you see that, oh, maybe I'll get a couple more of these for my kids. How much is your best price on 5 of them? They'll go down even further. So keep that in mind too. Don't go in there saying I want to buy 5 of these right off the bat. Say I want to buy 1, see what the best price is for 1, and then go in and say, well, I want to get some more. You can get an even better price on it too. So just something to keep in mind. Again, the bartering system there is brutal. It will eat you up, and you will waste a lot of money. Trust me, take my advice on this. Remember, this is your money, and their job is to take as much money from you as possible. Your job is to keep as much money as possible. And in the end, consider whether you really want this ever or not, because you're going to get this like, oh, I'm in Africa, I'm in another land. This is like amazing stuff. Pay attention to what you're buying. It might not be that amazing when you can buy it on Amazon for the same price or less. All right, when you're going into the Medinas and you're going to do some shopping, the first thing you got to know is this, that you can buy anything there for the most part, from food to luggage, to clothing, to weapons, to you name it, musical instruments. And you're going to get a little overwhelmed as you're walking around. There's a lot of different things, but the most important thing to remember is that 80% of it is the exact same stuff over and over and over again. In other words, you're going to walk to the first stall you're going to go to, and you'll be like, wow, this looks awesome, I'm going to buy it. And then you're going to try to barter with the guy. He's going to say it's 200 DRAM, and you're going to say, well, I don't want to give more than 100 DRAM, and you're going to go back and forth or whatever, and you're going to buy the item. Then you're going to leave the place, and then you're going to walk around the corner and see the exact same item, and you'll be like, I'm just curious, how much is that item? He's like, oh, it's 100 DRAM. That's his starting price. So instantly you just lost 100 DRAM, and then he's going to come down to as low as 50 or whatever. So you see what I'm saying? That happens all the time. So first of all, walk around. Do not buy your first venture out anything besides something like food to eat. Walk around, get a lay of the land, find stuff you want, ask questions about how much this costs, and that's their starting price. Go around the corner seeing the exact same items, and then ask that price. They're all different, every single one of them. So pay attention to that. You're going to save yourself a lot of money in aggravation. Number 2, they import this stuff from other countries. It's all shit. It's all garbage. I can't even explain it without you actually seeing what I'm saying, but it's just like the stuff you find on Amazon. They buy it in bulk, huge bulk, and then they just sell it for whatever. I mean, they buy it for like 30 cents or 50 cents American, and then they try to sell it for like $20 American, and they have it all over the place. That's why the prices are very wildly. So you don't pay a lot. You could literally, the same item that's there, you can go right up on Amazon and find it in some cases for a lot cheaper than what they're selling. So pay attention to that too. This is not high quality stuff. And the last thing I'll mention about this is there are some craftsmen and artisans that make their stuff from hand. That's a different story. It's obvious because they'll have the tools and the equipment that might be in the middle of making it while you're there. So that stuff is not stuff you're going to be able to find everywhere. However, you can find similar stuff around the Medina because they all typically have the similar skills. So you'll see somebody making shoes right there, or using, like, carving out the wood right there. That is something that's a little bit higher quality because they're making it there. It's worth more money and it's their livelihood. So don't go crazy when you're bartering with them, but do go from place to place to find the prices on that. All right, my last piece of advice is this on bartering. This stuff I've told you so far really does apply to the main vendors that work in the Medinas at all levels for the most part. The one time I would say this is an exception is when you're going into the bigger stores. There are, and vendors, there are places that are like huge and they sell quantity stuff, and like we went to the factory in Fez that did the leather dyeing, and they had leather on sale. They're everything you can imagine leather wise. There are spice places there that are huge, and they do a lot of quantity there and stuff like that. Now these places tend to be hyper inflated. I mentioned this in one of my other videos, in the picture show video, hyper inflated. And to give you an example, when I went to the leather dyeing place in Fez, I was interested in a leather jacket, and then a long leather jacket, and they were trying to sell it for $3,000 US was the equivalent, and I was like, what? That's crazy. So I didn't want it anywhere near that bad, and I'm not going to sit here and go back and forth on what's worth what, because they're like, well, this is the belly of the animal area, which is even softer and better, and and I'm like, I was spending $3,000, and we went back and forth, like, what's the best price? I said, I gave him the equivalent of $300, and he's like, it was like a car salesman thing, because they went back and forth with the manager, and they kept trying to go up the price. I'm like, no, the most I'll pay for this is $300. I don't even want to pay $300 for it. That's the most I'll pay. In the end, I got it for $300 US. I came back and found out that was actually a decent price for it, but it wasn't like a miracle price. It was just a decent price, but they tried starting at $3,000. Keep in mind, they sold it to me for $300, and they still made a profit off of it. So think of how inflated that price is. Now, at that price, I did have to give him a tip too. He's like, you give me a tip because I gave you such a good price. I gave him like 20 dirham, which is just $2, but that being said, so pay attention to that. And then the other place we went to was a spice shop that was like, it was very la-di-da. And they gave us a lot of free items for going in there, like free samples of soap, and this, that, and the other thing was he bought a lot of stuff. Same type of thing, the prices tend to be hyperinflated in that place too. Spice shops that are like bigger. But pay attention when it comes to spices, because the quality is different in a lot of these places. If you go to the street vendors, pay attention to what they're giving you. The prices are so crazy out of whack with things like spices and oils and things like that. So pay close attention to that. So yeah, to wrap that up, a big price difference also between bigger vendors like the leather distributors and carpets and bags, things that are high priced items, and the smaller ones. Bigger price items tend to be hyper inflated. Don't buy it for the price that they're offering, not even close. Go way down, and again, do your Amazon search for a similar item. Will you spend $3,000 on a leather coat in America? Of course not. Why would you do that in Morocco? So just pay attention to stuff like that. And that's pretty much it. Hope you found this stuff interesting. I guarantee you, if you take this advice, you'll save yourself a lot of money, time, and aggravation going into Morocco. So thanks. I hope you enjoyed it. Thankfully, this door ended up holding after all, and I think my security team was very good. They reinforced the door, and they had to shovel people away. It was like The Walking Dead out there. They had to clear the area first, and then they re-secured the door in the bunker, so it ended up being okay. Thanks, guys. Yeah, no thanks. Catch you on the next one. Thanks.